studio once more while they wait for Tom Hanks to make Toy Story 4.
Gonzo called it.
Doing a sequel. That's what we do in Hollywood. And everybody knows that the sequel's never quite as good.
Muppets Most Wanted, directed once again by James Bobbin, and is the 2014 sequel to the 2011 Muppets, which is one of the most beloved Muppet movies of them all. Brought them back after such a long absence, because Disney just wants to do a sequel to literally everything. Here we are 3 years after. So Muppets Most Wanted tells the story taking place literally right where the first Muppets left off. The Muppets have got back their theatre after Tex Richmond got injured by Gonzo's bowling ball and gave them back their theatre. And Walter is now a member of the Muppets, and they go on a world tour. But Kermit's evil doppelganger, Constantine, sees Kermit and the Muppets and frames Kermit to look like him, so that Kermit is captured by the authorities and locked away in a Russian prison. And while Kermit's doing his time in jail, the Muppets are unaware that Constantine is pretending to be Kermit, even though it's frigging obvious. And him and Ricky Gervais's character have taken control of the Muppets, and Constantine even proposes to Piggy. And when Walter and other Muppets realise that Constantine is not Kermit, and they learn of Kermit's true location, it's up to them to get Kermit back, and for Kermit to save Piggy from Constantine. Now, happy 10th anniversary, Muppets Most Wanted. I'm in disbelief. This movie is 10 years old now. My 18-year-old self back in spring 2014 couldn't contain my excitement for this movie after the Muppets 2011 floored me. I mean, I hadn't seen a Muppet movie that's flawless since Muppet Christmas Carol. But when I saw the movie with me, my mum and sister 10 years ago, yeah, we walked out feeling underwhelmed. Like, there was lots missing from this movie that made the 2011 Muppets so special. James Bobbin, how could you drop the ball this much? That's not to say Muppets Most Wanted is a bad movie. I'm not going that far. It does have its merits, particularly the we're doing a sequel song, because that song best sums up this movie in a nutshell. In the quote, "Everybody knows the sequel's never quite as good." That applies to this movie big time. It's like Disney and James Bobbin were aware this sequel was never going to come close to its predecessor, so they didn't put in nearly as much effort, and this was just more of a cash grab. But the Muppets should not have vanilla and mediocre movies like this. Kermit, Miss Piggy, and Animal and the Ganger deserve way better than this, and we haven't seen them on the big screen in 10 years since, because this movie underperformed so much at the box office in comparison to its predecessor. This one only did 80 million, and the Muppets 2011 grossed 165 million. So it's disheartening we never got a Muppets 3 to give this like rebooted Muppets trilogy a wonderful conclusion, because a third Muppets could have been a true apology for this one if done right, but alas, it wasn't to be. So, and do I have any more positive for Muppets Most Wanted? Well, not many, but I'll do my best. Other than we're doing a sequel song, yeah, the character of Constantine, having Kermit having an evil twin, is is a hilarious idea, and he does make for a delightfully campy antagonist. It is unique that this movie has, well, a Muppet main antagonist, whereas the first film had a human antagonist, just showing that there are good and bad Muppets and good and bad humans. It's not black and white. Aside from that, yeah, Muppets Most Wanted is such a drag of a movie. To me, it feels like a chore to get through. For one thing, there's no Gary or Mary in this movie. Why they were written out of this film, I have no clue. Like, we only see Gary and Mary's backs facing the Muppets' adoring fans in the opening scene, and that's it. After that, they're gone, never to be seen or heard from again. Walter doesn't even bring them up once, so what the hell? Like, aren't they his family as well as the Muppets? Why didn't they come with the Muppets? Why would they just leave Walter like that? And I mean, uh, I know Madagascar 3 Europe's Most Wanted, that movie has a similar title to this, did a similar thing when it forgot Alex's parents existed. But at least they had a, but at least you could see why they cut Alex's parents after Bernie Mac's tragic passing. But to write out Gary or Mary, yet they had no excuse. Amy Adams and Jason Segel could have happily reprised their roles, and so yeah, Walter doesn't have any compelling character arc like he did in the first Muppets, where he found his talent of whistling. Here, he's just here and along for the ride. And this movie has too many human characters and not enough screen time with the Muppets. Like a Muppet movie with less Muppets, that's a flaw. And the first Muppet flawlessly balanced the screen time of the humans and Muppet characters, but Ricky Gervais, I love the guy. He is one of the greatest British comedians of all time, but he ain't funny in this movie. He plays this snobbish, generic, secondary antagonist who's just number two to Constantine, and he's in it too much. Even Tyler Barrell, his interrogation scenes with Sam Eagle, I was sleeping through every single one of his scenes. And the celebrity cameos in this movie are half-assed and over within a flash. Like the first Muppets did celebrity cameos so much better. Like Emily Blunt is working for Miss Piggy, Jack Black in the Telefont, and whereas here, Tom Hiddleston's cameo is a blink and you'll miss it one. Oh, and the prison scenes with Kermit, uh, oh, they have excruciatingly slow pacing. They drag on for far too long and overstay their welcome. You feel Kermit's boredom of being stuck in this Russian jail. Paddington 2 is one of the only movies that hasn't made jail scenes boring. And also, the songs, the majority of them, aside from we're doing a sequel, utterly forgettable and aim to patch on the wonderful soundtrack of the first Muppets, like the villain song, I'm number one, you're number two. Don't remember it whatsoever, and the Miss Piggy's song, how could something so wrong feel so right? Forgive me if I got the lyrics wrong, but the song has no flair to it that I forget the lyrics. And the song, well, was more focused on Celine Dion than Miss Piggy, so she kind of overshadowed Piggy unnecessarily. The songs in the prison world were a bore fest. I couldn't name them for the life of me. The songs don't help the pacing. This movie's pacing is vastly weaker than the pacing of Muppets 2011, both clocking at nearly 2 hours, and this one feels like a 2 hour and 30-minute Muppet movie, and it's more aimed at a younger audience than the Muppets 2011, whereas Muppets 2011 was able to get a universal appeal. The tone of this one is more pandering to kids, but the Muppets also have an older fan base. Disney, did you forget that? Uh, and it is nice that we get to see London and the Tower of London in this movie for Miss Piggy and Constantine's wedding. But but uh, the entire plot uh, of the Muppets being tricked by Constantine's axe is rather predictable. You can work out step by step of what's going to happen. You know Constantine's going to be found out. You know Kermit's going to return to the Muppets. It makes the Muppets look as dumb as SpongeBob from Imitation Crabs for not figuring out that this was not Kermit. And Toy Story 2 did an imposter storyline better when the other Buzz pretended to be the real Buzz to the toys going to rescue Woody, because was that wasn't the main focus of that movie. And I was so dissatisfied with the ending. It left me feeling empty and confused. So the Muppets and Kermit go back to the Russian jail. Why? Why would Tina Fey's character travel all the way to London to arrest Kermit again? He's been proven innocent and caught the true Constantine. Just let him go free. Why must the innocent be punished here? And the first Muppets had a bunch of alternative endings, and they even had it even had the first Muppets had an ending with unpredictability to it, where Tex Richmond destroyed the phone line so the Muppets didn't achieve their goal of $10 million, and Fozzie accidentally made the money go down even more. But even when they felt like they'd failed and it felt like it was going to have an unpredictable, bold, tragic end, Muppet fans still cheered them on, and the Muppets still, and then other alternative endings were the Tex Richmond was Kermit all along in a disguise. Other endings being, well, Tex Richmond recalls from his childhood why he despised the Muppets so much, but then had redemption. So even the other deleted endings from the original Muppets are more meaningful to this uh, out of nowhere uh, ending that we got to Muppets Most Wanted. So yeah, at the end of the day, Muppets Most Wanted is the most disappointing Muppet movie to date. Even rewatching it 10 years later, my thoughts have 100% hold up. I give Muppets Most Wanted 2 stars out of 5. Meh movie. So yeah, at least we've had Muppets stuff on Disney Plus, but when are they going to return to the big screen already? That's what we truly want. Disney bring the Muppets back to cinemas. Disney Plus isn't always the way for us, and should only be used for the Muppets sparingly. Just my tip, Mickey Mouse. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what are your thoughts on Muppets Most Wanted? Are you with me that it pales in comparison to its predecessor? I think that's universally agreed upon. Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review Inside Out 2, as well as the Lilo and Stitch sequels. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.